or the bullet, freedom or death. We gas ourselves up, but we short on breath. Talking about we eating, but who we really cooking. Dreaming about greens, but ain't nobody looking. No land, no acres, no seeds in the ground. When the hunger hits, who's gonna be around? We starving every day, and it just ain't the food. Feeding the hood garbage, got 'em acting a fool. We flossing with rides, stunting with chains, but these bars we spitting just bring more pain. We guilty as hell, preaching all these lies, selling debt to the kids, and we acting surprised. We commercialize the pain, broadcast the grief, tell the youth to hustle, but hide the beef. We glorify the trap, invite them to the flames, just like Reagan brought the crack on planes. Back in the 80s when the streets got soaked, my people, my brothers, all got choked. Reagan said no trades, but we know the deal. He left us in the dirt, man, that shit was real. I was just a shorty watching it unfold, old enough to see how we got sold. War on drugs, but it was war on us. Cops on our necks, no love, no trust. They labeled us thugs, beast on the block, made us kiss the pavement while they cleaned our clock. Prison became business thanks to Reagan's game. Free labor is the truth in America's name. Slavery's dead, man. That's just a word. Read the 13th Amendment, it's still absurd. They lock us in cages, serving time for life. Double digits for wisdom, cutting sharp like a knife. I'm here to say, the chains in the air, it's time we break free, start showing we care. No more flexing for nothing, no more selling out. It's time to rise up, time to end. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I wanted to, before I got into the music and all that, actually I'll do it after the music. So I got Mac Irv, Hometown 2, and we'll be right back right after this. And I'm playing this song because it's about Minnesota today. You know what I'm saying? We're not going anywhere else. We're talking about Minnesota, not Minneapolis, or not Minneapolis, because it's Minneapolis, not Minneapolis.
Good, Minnesota. You have to come back for this one. Hometown 2. I reside in the city with a twin, where the winter never ends, and we hustle when it's cold outside. But when that summertime hit, they be bumping my shit. You can hear it when you go outside. I be rapping for that north side, that north side. I be rocking with that south side, that south side. I be rocking with that east side, that east side. I be rocking with that west side. It's Minnesota till I die, die, die. It's Minnesota till I die, die. Till I die. Man, we rolling, all the windows open, cruising through the city. I'm so caught up in the moment. 801 in Irvin, I was brought up in the low end. Hometown hero, kinda feel like I was chosen. I'm so focused through concrete that grew a rose in. I heard you wanna try, and I'm just wishing and I'm hoping that ain't what you want. I got some sharks up in the hood that eat you fish for lunch. Why you yelling out my side? We ain't seen you once. I used to shop at 7 Mile off of Broadway. Now I'm walking through my closet like a hallway. NFL all day, man, we like an army. They order to kill if you ever try to harm me. Quarterback my team, taking snaps, call me Dante. Throw it on the Mars, got me feeling like a boss. Woo! The city is mine, I feel like hoes. Back in 94, take a seat and watch me grow. In the city with a twin, where the winter never ends, and we hustle when it's cold outside. But when that summertime hit, they be bumping my shit. You can hear it when you go outside. I be rapping for that north side, that north side. I be rocking with that south side, that south side. I be rocking with that east side, that east side. Minnesota till I die, die, die. It's Minnesota till I die, die, die. It's Minnesota till I die. Lake Street, Southside, holla at my nigga Dot. Holla at the homie Great to get you straight like 6 o'clock. Hit the pole, holla at my nigga Tech. Holla at the homie Rob, they get nothing but respect. That's that Selby shit. You can't tell me shit. I've been seen with plenty women that you rarely get. I ain't bragging, y'all probably see me in action. These niggas acting tough, they remind me up to nothing. I'm rolling through the city without a care in the world. You here with me when you could be anywhere in the world. This is Minneapolis, not Minneapolis. Home of the prince, take a ride through his palace. Home of the mint, condition these rubber outlets. Now they say you're nervous, about to represent his town next. Quit asking if it's black people here, before I drop you in the hood and leave you there. It's my hometown. In the city with a twin, where the winter never ends, and we hustle when it's cold outside. But when that summertime hit, they be bumping my shit. You can hear it when you go outside. I be rapping for that north side, that north side. I be rocking with that south side, that south side. I be rocking with that east side, that east side. I be rocking with that west side. It's Minnesota till I die, die, die. It's Minnesota till I die, die, die. It's Minnesota till I die.
Yeah, you know what it is. Minnesota till I die. Mac Irv, hometown 2. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's having a good Friday. Hope everybody's all right. I did have a tough yesterday, and I'm sorry if I ignored anybody. I just had a rough day. Found some shit out about my oldest daughter I'm not happy with. But there ain't much I can do. She's an adult. But I understand like how the police are down there, and with the family members she's around, I don't even trust their ass. So, but I felt like this morning, this episode today, was to kind of show the past, in the present, in the future, and to do that, I think you got to go back in time and start with certain people. So today I'm gonna start with Pluky Duke because not enough people understand that he was one of the biggest kingpins Minnesota has ever had. And I understand because not a lot of people are from Minnesota; they're not from here, so they don't get it. And I really do feel like you have to show the problem, the start of the problems to get to the core of the issue. And I feel like going back with Pluky Duke and Big U, that was the 80s. You know, we did have Mafia, we did have other things like Al Capone came through here, Jesse James. But to go back into like the crack era, we have to talk about the issues that were going on then and why they are still going on now. And one of those is about Pluky Duke. So he still to this day is in prison for crimes that others got slaps on the wrist. I mean, just to see that, you know, a product that was put in our environment, because yeah, I understand you guys don't really get that shit. But when you listen to Freeway Ricky Ross and the cocaine grandmother and, you know, all those different things about how, I know there was even a book where he talked about, you know, the CIA. I think his name was Gary something. But he wrote a book and talked about how like the CIA and, you know, underprivileged neighborhoods were working together to, I shouldn't even say together or whatever, because it's really in the best interest of whatever they felt like in the government, to fight a war down in another country. So, but I want to start with Pluky Duke. So watch this. It's about 8 minutes long, but it actually tells a story and it shows you of like how Minnesota, even though this was back in the 80s, that we are still feeling these effects today. Um, and not enough people talk about it.
Ralph Duke ran Minnesota for over 10 years, running a tight organization, flooding the Twin Cities with pure snow straight from Columbia. When it comes to Minnesota, he's the big fish. He's the whale, the biggest kingpin to ever do it in that state. Now, the government was trying to get next to him since 1968. And of course, as time moved forward, heading into the 70s and 80s, more and more men started to lose morals. The government started to hand out ridiculous amounts of time for non-violent crimes. I mean, you had guys that could do a 5 to 8, but when the government started pushing 15, 20, 25 years, that's when guys started to spill. Early on, he developed an untouchable status. They couldn't get anything on this man. Everyone knew what he did. The hardest thing was proving it. He was being watched for decades. They saw him take flights all over the country, knew about the expensive purchases of vehicles and properties, his connections with some of the most popular figures in this country.
Dude, guess how much it cost me to make sure my family gets $1,000,000 if something ever happens to me? You'll never guess.
I don't know. It's got to be like $200 a month.
Nope.
It was hard to get close to him because he didn't talk to anyone. A lot of guys used to be offended by that, but that's just how he moved, and that was a smart way. Out of his entire run, the early 1980s was his best years. That's when he had all his motion. He had a lot of things going on. He was the man. Like the Colombians, they was giving this man anything he want as long as he could move it. And he didn't really have to worry about any competition, any rivals. He was really falling back, just making his money. But only if he knew the longer he stayed, the greater chances for him to get knocked. He purchased a car lot and had vehicles that transported the work to Iowa, California, and Texas. He would make a killing, setting up spots in different locations where they would break them all down. But wholesale was where it was at. He had a nice setup going on and structured it to where he didn't even have to go near the product. Now that tells you right there how smart he was, and he was just ahead of his time. He was just a good thinker. Now he had a lot of young guys as his drivers, which I think is a pretty risky move because we already know how reckless young guys are, especially when it comes to driving. He had his legitimate businesses going on, but he was throwing around money like he was Pablo Escobar. Everyone saw that. The Alphabet boys were watching and knew what he was doing, but they just couldn't prove it yet. The neighbors would start questioning him. If you ask this man, what did he do to support his lavish lifestyle? He'll tell you that he's a gambler and he's eating very good off his luxury vehicle business. He had a $70,000 1988 Callaway Corvette limited edition. $70,000 in the 1980s is equivalent to $288,000 in today's money. So that tells you how heavy he was carrying it. If you see someone driving a $300,000 vehicle, you already know they heavy. But in this game of cops and robbers, law enforcement plays super dirty, and we all know that. Before you jump in the game, just know what you're up against. And you're up against a system that have an unlimited money printer. You have paid informants that's making over $80,000 a year being paid to snitch since the 1980s and further back. The scary part is
That's the one part I want people to understand is like Minnesota pays informants confidential, especially what's crazy is I've come to find out, like, especially uh since BLM and all that, is like if people really understood of how many people call themselves gangsters or real ass niggas, but yet are confidential informants, is crazy as hell. And I really I guarantee it. Most people, they always say snitches get stitches. I call that shit a lot because how many cases have we seen in Rochester? I'm just going to talk about Rochester right now, right? Um, how many times have we seen people sell drugs to confidential informants? That'd be a part of their biggest, like one of their biggest charges. And then don't nothing ever happen to the niggas out here. I don't understand that. I mean, it's crazy, and it's really wild to me. And it's like people don't want to believe it, but it's actually true. There are police departments that confidential informants are part of the budget. It's not going to be under confidential informant, but it's going to be in the budget.
So there's going to be a line in there somewhere, somehow. Doesn't matter if it's won't be confidential informant, but it will definitely be some kind of public safety or community. Then it's like that shit foul. But that's what Minnesota likes. They like backwards ass shit. They don't ever like the truth. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have is that people in Minnesota don't like the truth. Even though it's looking them dead ass in the face, they still don't want to believe it. And I actually do believe that's part of the problem. Uh, but let me get back to this documentary or whatever video about Plucky Dude.
They being paid to lie on the stand. Not only that, but there's witnesses on cases that the defendants never saw a day of their lives. That's getting them time. Now, there was a big deal that was set up by an informant, that was dealing with his son. The informant was going to spend $140,000 for some keys. He stated that his son bragged about the moves that they was making. He bragged about the cocaine deals him and his father was able to put together.
All money. It's not good money. I'm gonna say that again. Because that is something that was drilled into my head as a youngin', that all money is not good money. And that's something that I've lived by my whole life. If I always have went with my gut feeling in that life, that's what has saved my life. That's what has literally saved my life, my gut. It's kept me out of some bullshit. But if something was wrong, it was wrong. And you got to trust your gut. And that's what it's sad to see that, how much of I don't know, I'll call it a 10 commandments because, love will get you killed. Of course, nobody believes that, or, they'd be like, oh, that's just a lie, but it's actually real. You reap what you sow. What you put out into the universe is what you get back. That's why I say live by the gun, die by the gun. In the Bible, it's live by the sword, die by the sword. Eye for an eye. And it's crazy how many people say they actually believe that. But when you look, they really don't, because motherfuckers out there calling police. Everybody want to get in other people's business. Shit, that's why there's so much drama. Nobody wants the truth. And there's too many confidential informants, William O'Neills, that deter people from actually getting justice, getting accountability. Because if people don't believe that loose lips don't sink ships, there's something really, really wrong. Because how many times have we seen it that a lot of crime organizations or even political ones, that there's always whistleblowers? We'll just call it whistleblowers because it's no different. Yes, it is. Matter of fact, yes, it is different than a snitch, because a snitch is somebody that is a part of the crime. I'm going to say that again, a part of the crime to get less time, or they're paid to do it. That's what a snitch is. If you're not a part of the crime, if you're an everyday citizen, right, there's nothing wrong with you calling 911. Because you're not from the street, so I don't expect that. I don't expect that. So, but people who are from the streets, you already know how police treat us. So I don't even know why you niggas call 911, because I'm not. I believe in that eye for an eye shit. I believe in that what you reap is what you sow. So you take one of mine, I'm going to take one of yours. I don't give a fuck. This is not a threat. It's a promise. And I think way too many people don't stand on what they say, but I'm going to stand on what I say, because you take one of mine, I'm going to take one of yours. And that's just eye for an eye. I know some people will say, well, that's not how we meant it. Well, how the fuck did he mean it then? How did he mean it? Because how else am I going to get accountability and justice? Because first of all, I don't give a fuck what kind of plea bargain they give a person. That's not going to be justice to me. You mean a person is going to kill, and yet they only get 5, 6, 7 years out of actually no time, maybe. No, I don't. That's not justice. That's not accountability. I mean, I think about how, especially in Minnesota right now, she just got sentenced. I think her name is Cindy Martin. She's in the DFL party or whatever, and she killed a kid. She killed him, and she only got not even a year in jail. So you telling me that's accountability? And she was drunk when she did it. No, y'all motherfuckers is goofy. Because I'll tell you right, that's not accountability. That's not justice either. And it's the same thing even with I seen something about this though yesterday when and the only reason why I'm bringing it up because I don't want to forget it, and it's in my mind right now, is like people take these settlements and then sign NDAs where they can't talk about it. That's not truth and transparency. If you're signing an NDA and you don't want, it's obvious that the city or doesn't want all the information to come out, so they settle. So then that settlement, there's an NDA attached to that. You're not going to hear the truth about Anika Bowie. You're not going to hear the truth because all you're going to hear is it was a settlement. That's all you're going to hear. There ain't nothing because I'll tell you right now with the settlement, because I read some of it already, is that they even though that they're settling, this does not mean that it shouldn't look like they don't take no type of accountability or that it was their fault. Well, why are you paying then? If it's not your fault, why are you paying? Are you just paying so you just because probably it is really like that? Like I don't even understand that shit. And it's like, how do people fall for that? Because we have fallen for it over and over and over and over again. I can talk about it with Dante Wright, with George Floyd. How many other police brutality cases are in Minneapolis or Rochester? You know, I'm just go off on a tangent. So let me finish this Pluky Dude.
2 months. And even though Duke wasn't present during the deal, they were still able to get a warrant because they had proof he was nearby. Duke was arrested in May of 1989. They took 6 houses. During the raid, they found $20,000 in his house, an Uzi machine gun, and a 22 with a silencer. Now, we already know getting caught with a silencer, that's an automatic 3 years. Law enforcement will not go easy on you. Like, what the hell you got a silencer for? And, that's a 3-year sentence without even having a criminal background. But they was also able to take $100,000 in cash from his son. The prosecutor pulled up records that showed Duke didn't file an income tax return since 1985. And we already know Uncle Sam gotta get his. When Uncle Sam don't get his, things go down. So even if he beat the drugs and gun case, he still will go down on a conspiracy charge. They most likely will put him on a lifestyle trial because it's obvious the life he was living didn't match his income. They even labeled a young lady as his money launderer. She worked for a postal service but had bank deposits equaling up to $190,000 within 3 years. He purchased things with straight cash and put it in other people's names. He will forfeit $1.8 million in cash, which was no point in my opinion because he was sentenced in 1990 to a term of life imprisonment plus 40 years for committing several serious drug trafficking and firearm crimes. And to add insult to injury, law enforcement used his Corvette as a police race car. The race car had a sticker on the side that says drug users lose everything. It was to send a bright message to the kids. Now, this man was sentenced to life in prison for a non-violent crime. Now, if I was him, I wouldn't forfeit anything.
Right.
Like 1.8 million, and we're talking about the late 80s and 90s. So that's over $4 million in today's money. Now, that might have been part of the deal, so he could have kept something out there for his family. But here it is, 2025, over 35 years later, and he's still behind bars. Like, it's insane. Like, these jails are overcrowded. They need to free up some space, to free up a bed and let this man out. He got to get back to his family. Like, come on now. Like, yeah, he was caught with guns, but it wasn't any murders involved in his case. Like, no murders at all. Like, they need to do something ASAP about this. Like, it's been over 35 years. How much time do they want him to do? Like, how much time do they want this man to do, man? He served all his time. He need to get back home, man, and get back to his people. But, yeah, man, for nonviolent crimes, I know they changed a couple laws since then for nonviolent offenders. Now, the big problem with this guy is that he overstayed his welcome. A lot of people might question if your connect is giving you a satisfying amount of product, how long do you really need to be in the game? That might be a good question, but you have to think about this. Some people are in a position where the streets is all they know.
Right.
They can't do nothing else. Only in the perfect world where you get your money, pass your connect off, and move on. But a lot of guys like to gatekeep. That's why the whole organization crashes when one guy goes to prison. It's always supposed to be the next man up. Just like the mafia, it's more so of the structure. I know I always talk about longevity and long runs, but a hustler ain't supposed to be in the drug game for decades. If you look at the guy that had a long run, he definitely went through a repetitive cycle. Being up, being down, losing his connect, looking for a new one, then doing jail time, come home, jump back in the mix. These things repeat over and over again. So a long run really isn't where it's at. But I appreciate all y'all for tuning in tonight. Don't forget to subscribe.
Man, I know a lot of people don't remember Minneapolis or they weren't here. But Minneapolis was pretty wild back in the 80s and 90s. There was a lot of things that went on when it came down to gangs, drugs, violence, uh, that people don't talk about, that is really still affecting what we do today. It doesn't matter if it comes down to our judicial, um, our programs, juvenile. They're still overcharging, wrongfully convicting others who actually have no attachments to the crime. But I thought this was interesting. Is I saw RT Ryback talking about on how the Democratic Party to him is changing, and I do feel like that is something that I know people talk about it, but there is actually not enough people believe it. And I don't know if that's just because they've been told, uh, but it is the truth, and that truth is actually getting people hurt, getting people killed, uh, wrongfully convicted. So I want people to listen to. He has a conversation with, and I know Jana or whatever the hell her name is in the news because of her. She thought somebody was, I don't know, threatening her or whatever, her child. And it's like, you guys already know the kind of lives you live. And I'll say it like this: there's a lot of shit that comes out that they don't put on the air, which they should. Uh, because if they're really about truth and transparency, then let's really be truthful and let's really have 100% honest transparency, because we don't see that. We do not see that at all. So we just see a lot of narratives and mainstream media tales. So here you go with RT Ryback on how the Democratic Party is changing.
Welcome to Breaking the News Plus. So anybody interested in politics last night was looking at Michigan. The primary between the Democrats in that race couldn't be more stark about what the Democratic Party is staring down right now. Basically, two parties within a party. And to join me to have a conversation about that and that Senate race and some other things is former mayor and Democrat RT Ryback. Welcome, RT.
Good to see you.
So I wanted to talk to you, RT, because when I was learning about the Michigan race a little bit more yesterday, as it was primary day there, you have Abdul El-Sayed, who has just won, versus a kind of staid Democrat in Haley Stevens. And so you had a conventional Democrat who was getting the backing of a lot of the party faithful, and then you had this new face. And we've seen that all over the country. What do you make of that as a Democrat?
Well, I think there's, and let me talk as an American on this, because I think this applies to everyone. One of the things is to acknowledge, there is this sort of split within the party, which is sort of humorous, because why is the DFL called the DFL? It's because there was the Democratic Party and then the more progressive Farmer Labor Party, and Hubert Humphrey put them together, and people began to understand that these messages can work together. A political movement happened in Minnesota that became an incredible thing. So let's just remember that. But I think if people are trying to understand this, I think it'd be a really good idea to turn off some TV, not you. But this narrative is very comfortable nationally. But let's unpack this a little bit because there are several things going on. There is a difference between the quality of candidates. Mandami was a compelling candidate, so is El Said in Michigan. Stevens kind of was not. There is a difference in age and how different generations are looking at this moment, but also money. You cannot explain why the Yankees win more than the Twins without talking about money. And you cannot explain what happened last night or what's happening around the country without recognizing there's massive independent expenditures that are tipping balances. Right now, the Chuck Schumer and the people who lead the Senate are putting massive amounts, along with other independent groups, APAC and others, $60 million into the Michigan Senate race, and they lost. And forgetting who you're for, I think that's great news, because the pollution of politics with independent expenditures based on a really bad Supreme Court decision means that we have to be subjected to just horrible stuff being thrown at us. And I hope one lesson everybody takes out of this is we need to elect people who will go into Congress and make sure that we put significant limits on public financing. So that's a part of it too. The generational issue is quite important in this. And I think one of the things is it's important to think that what is progressive right now is very different generationally, but it's also really important to look at affordability within this context.
Right.
How can somebody vote for Obama, Trump, Bernie Sanders? Well, there's a link here between people who think the economic system is not working and different people with different solutions. So now look at a young voter who looks at that and they can't afford a home. They've got massive college debt. They look at AI coming and disrupting what they think is going to be their career path. You look at all of those things, and a person who's 25 looks at this very differently than people who were privileged to come of age economically in a period where I was.
And that is kind of the funny part, because he does bring up a good example of talking about the eras. There's different. Progressive means differently in other eras. So honestly, you see that, because in Minnesota, I shouldn't even just say Minnesota, but really kind of, I guess now it's America wide, is the socialist movement inside of DFL, DSA, or whatever. They're taking over. You can see that with Donnie. You can see that in Michigan, which has a very big TPS stat, or I know it's in Dearborn. Haiti, no, I don't think that is either. Man, they do have a lot of Somalis or whatever, but I know they have a lot of Muslims. But that actually just shows, because those are the people that vote. Money's not going to win. I keep on saying this. It gets you attention, but it doesn't win elections. And I think that's been shown over and over again, that money isn't going to win you elections. It's going to be getting down there with the people. Getting out there with the people. I shouldn't say down there, but out there with the people. That's what it's going to take. You see how, a good example I'll even show you, right? When you look at the city council in Minneapolis, there's 13 members, right? And the one mayor, they're all Democrats, but they all are different. You have progressives, you have moderates, you have socialists. So you have three different factions of Democrats on there. And that should show you that we really do have a problem, because they all do not see the same shit the same way. They do not see it the same way. But yet we call them DFL when they're actually, it's not the DFL anymore. You look at that majority in Minneapolis, right? They have, in a council, they have 7 members who are part of DSA. And right now they have a majority. So next election, because Mayor Frey won't be there, but I'm sure Fatah will, or maybe Zanab Muhammad, blah, blah, somebody else, right? But that council, because if you get two more socialists, probably won't come from the north side, but let's say Rainville. I'm trying to think who's the other one. Paulsano. Vito, I don't think. I think Vito, they're going to get out of there because she goes too much moderate. She goes behind the police all the time and is okay with them stealing our money. So I think that will be a big thing when it comes to the next. Now I'm just talking about not even this election, but 2028.
And so you wonder why young voters feel differently. Then you put in this word socialism, which to those of us who grew up in the tail end of the Cold War, it's, oh my God, it's communist. That's not at all what people are talking about. If you get Social Security, if you believe that veterans should get preferential health care, if you believe in the GI Bill, if you believe in all sorts of things, you believe in some element of social involvement in the safety net. So I think there's almost, like how your kids will use certain words with you that they know will set you off. I think there's a certain element of that with the word socialism that we need to set aside. There's also a progressivism that I think was very dominant a few years ago that was very much about identity politics and things that became hot button issues with the culture wars. The things that are being talked about now, Medicare for all, most importantly, college loan and others, are really about bread and butter affordability, which is very different than just saying, I'm a progressive or I'm a lefty. And that actually attracts, on some seemingly strange, but I guess logical level, somebody who would vote for Trump and Bernie Sanders and maybe El Said.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking.
That's kind of crazy.
I think the change, it can be distilled in a tweet or a Facebook post, but that it really does just come back to change, and that we generationally are having different lived experiences of being an American, whether
Yes.
you're a Republican, Democrat, independent, a little bit of both. It doesn't matter. The economic and the state of the nation is the same. AI affects everybody. The economy affects everybody.
Yeah.
College loans affect everybody. And so perhaps it's just that, like each party, the Republican Party went through a change with the Tea Party and then the Trump administration moving it in a different direction, and the Democratic Party is changing. Is that a bad thing?
Well, I buy that one to a certain degree, but there's a whole lot of elements of that I wouldn't go to. I would say, remember the word hope in the Obama campaign. So I was very involved in the Obama campaign, and hope is a very open sort of thing. But if you look generationally at the word hope, hope matters a lot right now, because I believe very many young people, and I think they're telling us this clearly, don't have as much hope. So forget the right-left continuum for a moment and look at the Mandami effort in New York, and all of a sudden people who had turned off saw a path, whether it's the path you like or not. They saw it, and they saw it through a lens, not just of, I hate this person's a crook, this or that, but the optimism of saying we can do big things together. Walk around our city parks. Take a look at the infrastructure, the roads, the streets, the railings. They were built by the WPA in the 30s at a time when the country was in economic challenge. And we've never really done a big public works program to that degree. I guess a couple of things with Obama and Biden, but that sort of thing, all of a sudden, when you sort of walk people through that, go, yeah, actually, we should put people to work and we should build good, wonderful things for ourselves. That's a hopeful message, as opposed to this guy's a crook, and some of them are. And this,
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I guess I was just not articulating it well enough to know that parties do go through change. And yes, there is a different message in that.
Yeah. I'm not disputing what you're saying. I'm just saying there's a nuance beyond that. Both parties are going through a thing. Even the idea of a two-party system right now is something that may or may not make sense. There may be a thinking more in terms of multiple parties that can come together in different ways on different issues. If you look at us being stuck in, gee, I either belong over here, I belong over there, and I'm going to be like that all the time. I mean, we see this in local politics in Minneapolis City Council. We see the mayor is his block and the council has a block, and they stay on those blocks.
Yep.
The kind of politics that gets things done is one that gets unstuck. That doesn't mean to be a moderate nothing. It means to sometimes have ideas that are considered extreme over here and extreme over there.
Right.
And you don't have to buy the political straitjacket you're given. And I think that's part of the dynamic we have right now. So I don't know, maybe having other parties that sometimes form alliances and don't, may be part of the element. Maybe we don't force everybody into two.
My final question is just kind of circling back to that word electability. You have been a part of electoral politics for a very long time. Do you think that those conversations are even had by voters anymore of, I'm going to pick this person because they're electable against the other person? It's really in the primary that we're talking about this.
Yeah. Well, I think that is probably the issue for many, many people in the current Democratic primary. And I'm not as in touch with the Republican, but I would say the same, that electability is a huge, huge issue right now. What electability is, however, is a very debatable issue. And I think there's a strong body of opinion that if you give people good candidates, they will be electable. And in Michigan, we had one candidate who was, I don't think it's even debatable, one who was dramatically better with a name that was really complicated, and one who was given $60 million and couldn't win the election and wasn't a very good candidate. I'm trying to be kind here, but the fact of the matter is you have to look at quality of candidates. The good news in the candidates I know best are the two ones in our Senate race are fabulous candidates. I know them both. So that'll be a cleaner look at all of this. But even they don't fit as neatly into the box that we think of. But I do think every Minnesotan should be outraged by the amount of money that Chuck Schumer has poured into this state. And it's really something that is almost un-American, frankly. I'm outraged by it.
And that's RT Ryback on Breaking the News Plus.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of money when we can, like, especially outside money. When I say about outside, look at Lisa DeMuth. Most of her money is coming from a billionaire donor, or PACs, and like Restore Sanity, or like even Qualls. And I think Minnesota is actually different. And I don't believe that, I really don't think either that money wins elections. And because you can see that. I mean, look at Wisconsin, not Wisconsin, I want to say Wisconsin, Michigan, and how they flooded over $60 million for a candidate that didn't even win the primary. So I know coming down to this primary, which is in 4 days, August 11th, it's going to be real, because I think it'll be tough. I don't think that you're going to see Lisa win the primary. I do believe that it's going to be Mike Lindell and Philip Parrish. And I only say that because when you look at how Minnesota runs, we're tired of these establishment PACs. I'm tired of, one of the biggest things is Lisa DeMuth has been there. She's been in the legislature. She hasn't got much done. So how is we going to know she's going to do any differently when she becomes the governor? I mean, track records have meaning. And I think people need to open their eyes. Because I can even tell you, like, even in Minnesota, when it comes to our GOP party, we're divided. You have people that their candidate is Kendall. You have people that their candidate is Lisa. And then you have people that have Mike Lindell as their candidate. That's three different candidates. But I can tell you this right now is that one of them isn't your everyday Republican. It's not an establishment. just got into politics. So I think more people are going, especially I can tell you like this, that the way that they go at fraud, especially with Phil, because I know Lisa's not going to do anything because I had a meeting with Republicans back in 2022 about fraud. So I already know they're not going to do bullshit. They're not going to do shit. I don't know why I said bullshit. They're not going to do nothing. And I'm dead ass honest about that. Even this fraud committee, like they say it was a win. How was it a win when you literally couldn't do anything? You couldn't compel people to come and talk in front of the committee because you tried that and it didn't work. It didn't work. You tried to send a nice letter, but without a subpoena, they're not going to. And y'all made sure that there wasn't subpoena power in that power sharing agreement. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, but you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know politics. Yes, I do. I know the motherfuckers caved. I know they caved. What else do I need to know? I know they caved. You know, I can even RT was talking about how like in the Democratic Party, you have so many different factions. It's like that with the GOP too. You have people that here's what like I come down and I have a problem with both the parties, right? Because they always talk about stick up for women. Oh, we stick up for women, but yet be allowing rapers, woman abusers all around. So we can't say that we want better for our communities when y'all sitting here riding around with the same kind of garbage. I don't understand that. How could y'all want differently? That's what I don't understand, right? And why I say there really isn't no difference between the streets and politics. Because the same shit I see in politics is actually the same shit I see on the streets or that I saw on the streets. Motherfuckers try to get over on you. Same thing with Zach X. And it's like y'all talk about Donald Trump and Elon Omar and Omar Fattah and all these rapers, but then yet this is the thing I want people to think because a lot of people are hypocrites in Minnesota. They are fucking hypocrites. Because it's really wild to me that people sit here and stand with the people. And that's why I really don't fuck with a lot of nobody no more. Because wrong is wrong. It shouldn't matter about politics. It shouldn't. Wrong is wrong. And that's definitely why I don't fuck with a lot of people. That's why I don't. There's too many people that are okay as long as the party's doing it. As long as they're the same party, it's okay. But at the minute it becomes another party, then it's not okay. And I'm not okay with that. Wrong is wrong. And there's way too many people that don't agree with that. Or they'll blame it, oh, this is a liberal court system we're in. So the truth don't mean shit anymore. I thought as long as it was on court record. So you mean to tell me that women are lying in court papers that he didn't rape and he didn't like have his followers? So it's like when you read that part that his followers, so it makes me think like the people that post him, are y'all the followers that were harassing these women? Like that it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like, and that's why I really don't fuck with a lot of people because again, I'm going to say, they say like Black Lives Matter. But how do Black Lives Matter when you support, are you even are a consumer to the establishment, like the business, I should say the business, and they're a Trump supporter? Y'all talk shit about me being a conservative, but yet y'all go support the people who donate to Trump. Make that motherfucker make sense. You niggas are so backwards. That's why I'm going to say it again. I really don't fuck with a lot of people. I really don't fuck with a lot of people. I really don't fuck with a lot of people because what's good for them, as long as it's down to politics, they're okay with it. I don't get it. They like to talk about all these sex predators and these pedophiles, but you allow these people around you. You allow these people because you don't want to believe the court papers. Or you think that those people, because it's a liberal court system. Man, the fucking shit trips me out. They sit there and talk about, well, you did something all the way back in 19. That's 30 fucking years ago. I'm bringing up something that is current, at least this decade, at least in the 2020s. Like, the shit be wild to me. Shit be wild. But then you got women that sit here and run off with a man that molested a 4-year-old girl. You run off. And yet, these people are around kids every motherfucking day. I don't get it. You niggas are weird to me. You can't call out one shit when you don't even want to look in the fucking mirror at your own problems. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. Even when it comes to these like flock cameras I'm about to talk about. How are you vandalizing all these flock cameras and y'all don't know who did it? We got all these motherfucking cameras, and don't matter what city you're in, they got cameras. Doesn't matter if it's Rochester, doesn't matter. Look at your motherfucking lights, the stoplights. Look at them. I had Ashley look at that shit yesterday. She's like, damn, I didn't notice there were so many cameras. I said, I don't know how you motherfuckers don't know this. You niggas ain't knowing enough what's around you. It's like even with the construction right now going on in Rochester with the DMC, how you motherfuckers, this is not something that's new. I don't understand why people act like it's new. This shit didn't happen overnight. They've been talking about DMC for over 14 motherfucking years. And now you got people that are complaining about the street construction. Oh, well, it's hurting my business. Nigga, you knew. What do you mean? You just didn't want to pay attention because you have more shipment. Yeah, so that's, I don't feel bad for them people. I've been talking about DMC since 2021. I don't give a, people, man, all you got to go do is look at the fucking book yourself. I don't get it. And it's like people don't want to educate themselves. They would rather be blind or look the other way instead of actually standing on business. I don't get that shit. But then I do get it because they're not going to bite the hand that feeds them. Just like I don't know how many other times that people have said it, all money's not good money. You know, even I'll take the Madison, Wisconsin right now. You know, I seen a group out there called Freedom Inc. And I looked them up. I looked up their 990s and then looked up how much they got in government funding. Well, it was over $1 million. I'm not expecting these people, which is a big part of the money they receive every year. They're not gonna, come on, man. I don't get it. I just don't get it. You think that they're gonna do anything to disrupt that fucking money they get? You think they're gonna do anything to disrupt that money they're gonna get? Just like with the black churches this weekend, they're gonna meet together, and maybe it was last weekend or whatever, but it might be this weekend. As I know the primary is Tuesday, but they're gonna get behind a candidate. And it's open your eyes. Open your eyes. They're not gonna bite the hand that feeds them. That's the same thing when I see niggas over north. Y'all talk about Bobby Joe, but then take pictures with him. That shit right there, that just shows me niggas ain't shit. Because they can talk about it one way, and then when it comes time, when they see a nigga in the face, they buddy. I'm not gonna be like that. I'm not gonna be your friend. I don't want to be your buddy. I got enough of that shit. I'm here for change because I want to make sure that my kids are okay when I'm not here. Because I don't expect anybody else to fight for them. Hell no. I don't expect my mom. I don't expect my sister. Them niggas can't even, you know what the fucking crazy part is? Most of these motherfuckers can't even fight for themselves. Can't even fight for themselves. That's why this should be having me so mad is like, just even hearing the shit about my daughter that's still in the Twin Cities and hearing that she had got into it with the police. And I'm like, damn, really? I'm like, do y'all not understand how the motherfucking police are? Why do y'all want them in your business? Why do you call them? They don't listen, they're not there to protect and serve. They're there to duck and swerve. Ain't got shit to do about protecting, and they got shit to do with serving nobody. Because that's not what it's there about. They take oaths that they'll protect everybody, but yet they'll kill unarmed black men. This shit's crazy, or they'll shoot them. This shit's wild to me. But yeah, hey, it is what it is. And that's the type of shit that we vote for. And people will not clearly understand it, that elections have consequences. I say this over and over and over again. Elections have consequences. Even when it comes to these flock cameras, you know, because it's just been this year that I've seen so much talk about it. You know, Red Wings they just put up, I think, 6, 7 maybe. Winona and Faribault, they lost a total of between them 14, but yet never seen who did it. That shit's wild to me. How can you literally cut something off in a public area and not have no video footage? No. Yeah, but y'all can watch everything that happens in the city, but yet y'all weren't watching the flock cameras. And the fact that they didn't even, in Winona, I don't know about Faribault or whatever, these other authorities or whatever, but they didn't even notice for 24 hours. They didn't even notice for 24 hours that the cameras were missing. So it's like, are these even doing what they're supposed to be doing? Because I know one of them in Winona was on the bridge between, and they got that one. So how did y'all not see that shit? How did y'all not see a motherfucker on the bridge cutting down a camera? I don't get that shit. Like, this shit's really wild to me. It's like they either were a part of it, it was an inside job, or yeah, because I don't know what the fuck to call it. There ain't no video footage. They don't know who did it. But here goes a story about flock cameras across Minnesota are being vandalized.
And right now we're tracking your tax dollars tonight and the growing cost of damage to police cameras. There are reports of flock cameras being vandalized and stolen across the state. We've reported on this happening in Winona, Duluth, Plymouth, Faribault, Edina, and Anoka County. But law enforcement believes up to 15 communities have been hit this year. Richard Reeve joins us live in Edina with what investigators are learning about this and how much it could impact your wallet.
Yeah, Lindsay, this is the most recent case in Edina. It happened in June. We're going to push in a little bit so you can see what we're seeing here. As you might be able to see there's kind of a glue-like substance on the front of that camera. Now, this has happened 4 times in Edina since 2023, and taxpayers are paying the bill. You can see a substance coating part of the lens of this flock camera, another section dangling by a cable. Edina police say somebody had vandalized this camera on June 23rd. What's your reaction when you hear reports about things like this?
That's expensive technology. I think the camera device itself is probably $3,000 or $4,000. The pole that it goes on is expensive. And really, that's just an added expense to the taxpayers.
Jeff Potts, executive director of the Minnesota Chiefs of Police Association, estimates up to 15 cities statewide have reported similar vandalism. Nearby the Edina camera, we found graffiti that reads, "Flock equals ICE."
I think the attention came to this because there was a perception that there was a lot of agencies sharing license plate reader data with immigration officials.
Plymouth police also seen damage. The department does say it shares license plate data, but tells us it's restricted to local police departments and the BCA. And there's a vetting process where a department has to enter an official request and share what specific data is being sought.
The camera was found just broken into pieces, sitting at the base of the pole that it was mounted to.
Chief Eric Fadden says he understands the privacy concerns, saying data is deleted after 30 days. But he calls the cameras a valuable crime-fighting tool.
They have assisted our officers in solving numerous crimes, helping locate missing people, helping locate victims of domestic violence.
Now, hardest hit was Winona, with 8 cameras stolen between July 29th and August 1st. Most departments we've talked to say they do plan on replacing those cameras, but as we said, they're pretty costly, between $3,000 and $4,000. We're told a police report says this particular camera is functioning again, but with a limited capability. Live in Edina, Richard Reeve, 5 Eyewitness News.
All right, Rich, thank you. And data from the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension shows more than 100 agencies in the state currently partner with Flock. But privacy concerns have only grown since Operation Metro Surge. The Columbia Heights City Council voted to end their contract in June, despite pushback from law enforcement. In a presentation to the St. Paul City Council, where police used the cameras, the ACLU recommended an end to sharing data with any jurisdiction that has an agreement to assist federal immigration enforcement. Despite a state law preventing it, the ACLU said there is nothing practically preventing them from sharing the data. If you'd like to learn more.
Yeah, I think we should be able to share data. And that's part of the problem because they think that it's yeah, I don't understand it no more really to get it. Because everybody want to have a problem with law enforcement. Everybody want to have a problem with privacy. But yet, when it's time for people to talk about it, y'all don't talk about it. You know, so I don't even get it. I don't understand it. Like, why is it a big? Maybe because people notice it now. They weren't noticing it when city councils were passing the funding to put these up. You know, so it's like, why are you paying attention now? Oh, I get it, because you feel like it's an infringe on your privacy. I mean, even when I think that, well, I don't think there was a news cast about how Rochester police were the most law enforcement agency in Minnesota, and how much they use their drones in 2025. And it's like the post that I see of like people like, oh, did anybody see the drones last night? And it's like, your police department has them. Your police department has them. So I believe that you're going to start seeing more and more of that. I wanted to I wanted to talk about this for a minute. This is about Vic Mensa. I really didn't like the dude when it came. I never actually thought he was an okay actor, and when it came to The Shy, but other than that, I ain't never listened to none of his music. I ain't did no other different kind of shit. I just knew that he was a rapper from Chicago. But I saw this, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? I know that he's been to Minneapolis for the Alex Pretty and Renee Good shootings, and he's really against ICE. But now I understand against ICE because the nigga ain't from here. That's why he was okay wearing a Confederate flag dress, because he's not like us. That shit don't have nothing to do with him. Nigga dresses up as a girl, and he out here talking about he a revolutionary. Shut your bitch ass up. Only time when niggas pay you is the only time you talk, nigga. Like, stop it. I don't understand this shit. How's niggas get on TV wearing a dress? And at that, a Confederate with a wig. You niggas is weird. I just don't understand it. And then his music ain't even rap. Yeah, what the fuck is That's not his music. This generation lost in a motherfucker. I really thought this was interesting, right? I saw this morning, and it was about Boosie, and he makes a very, very good point. And I'm actually going to, after my episode today, I'm going to get it downloaded, his Boosie Network shit, because I do support him. I support his music. I support his. I know he's got a fishing. I don't really fish or anything like that, but I think that it's a message that should be put out here, because it's not for independents to win. And what I mean by independence is they aren't looking for backing from major music studios or even movie studios, and they just want to do it themselves. But he makes a good point.
He did almost 26 million.
Yeah, he did he said he did 26 million streams on Tubi and only made $120,000. To me, that's pretty wild and fucked up. So I definitely won't be watching any more movies on Tubi. Because if they're paying people, you're just paying them crumbs. You're paying them, you're not paying for their art, their talent. And to me, that's weird. Yeah, it's crazy. How do you only make $120,000? Wow. So let me play this real quick.
Dreams. He did almost 26 million dreams of one film.
Really?
And got $120,000. So I checked them off. You mean to tell me if I try this myself, I make triple of what I make 100,000 and 26 million? We have been fooled.
Sure.
That's why you see all these dudes talking about, I got Tubi movies. Nigga, I got 3 movies on, nigga, still in the Yukon. Nigga, you in the 9A Yukon. You ain't making no money.
Right.
You ain't making nothing. Nigga, I tried your way.
9A Yukon.
I tried your way. They done fooled us by thinking we can't do it ourselves.
Right.
So everybody gonna try to cater to what? The people who watching. You're not worried about your family and what you gonna make. You care about the people who watch and say what I saw it on. I don't care about that. I care about them people who supported me.
Right.
So with Boosted Network, I just flipped off the boostedmovie.com to expand it. Now I got where you can subscribe every month. I got merch. I got music. I got fishing videos. Anything. I got 8-9 movies I'm dropping on August 22nd that you never seen before.
Wow.
So I'm finna make my own Netflix.
Yeah.
If you want your movie to come to me, bring it to me. I'm gonna pay you more than Netflix. Yours gonna come to you. You can stream yours 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
And you still, because I'm selling mine.
Right.
If I sell mine for $6.99, I will give you $1. So if they buy mine 1,000,000 times, I'm gonna give you $1 million check, and I make 5.
Right.
Nobody's doing what I'm finna do. So I put my movies on my own. I bet on myself.
Yeah.
Because what Netflix and Tubi and all these people did is they did what they did to the rap game. Now they did it to the movie game too with this streaming stuff. So I never did that. I go to boostedmovie.com and put my stuff for a price.
Right.
And count on my
Minnesota's largest county says she is facing threats from federal officials over a policy in place before the ICE surge.
The fuck?
At the end of the day, what I would say is this, is that I believe the law to be on my side. But at the same time, I've seen what has happened. And so I guess I just don't know what to expect.
Could federal agents really arrest Sheriff Witt, and would the charges stick? Ubali has more on the dispute and whether there's a legal basis for the threats.
Well, criminal defense attorney Joe Tamburino calls the charges performative, saying this is more about pressure than enforcement. The message from the federal government is getting louder.
I want to say we're at about 17 right now.
Since July, Hennepin County Sheriff Dwana Witt says federal officials have hand-delivered letters like these to her office, warning her if she did not turn over people wanted for immigration reasons, she would be arrested.
We do not work with them on is immigration enforcement. That's their job. That's not our job here as local authorities.
At the center of the dispute are immigration detainers. Requests from federal immigration officials asking local jails to keep someone in custody until they can be picked up. Witt says those requests are not signed by a judge and often arrive when someone is no longer in county custody.
There's actually laws that say that we cannot hold on to people past our longer than our legal authority to do so without having a warrant.
At the height of Operation Metro Surge, Border Czar Tom Homan credited the end of Operation Metro Surge to the increased cooperation from county jails. Witt says the jail would cooperate with ICE if agents obtained a judicial warrant for an individual's arrest.
There is a process we have here in America. We do have due process, and that should be upheld in everybody's case.
In her case,
I believe the law to be on my side.
And criminal defense attorney Joe Tamburino agrees.
I thought it was excessive and performative. There is absolutely no basis in law to arrest or charge.
I don't understand that, right? If they come across, even though the last 4 years of the whole Biden administration, we had open borders, but still, you're still here illegally, and you have due rights, due process. Get the fuck out of here. I don't understand that. Like, the shit be crazy because we don't even give due process to our own citizens, especially when it comes to the poor community. Y'all want to give these immigrants so much. That's why I'm behind the Lindell camp. I know he wants to do amnesty. I bet you wouldn't hear Mike come out and say shit about how the police were acting. Because he would have sent the National Guard in to arrest the motherfucking DSA, Antifa, whatever the fuck you want to call them, so-called the violence interrupters or these little signal groups. Y'all niggas are impeding and interfering with federal operation. And y'all want me to feel sorry for Renee Good and Alex Purdy. What about Cleavon White, who just had a mental health issue? Or what about the guys that have been going through their own mental health issues in Minneapolis? Or how about the people that were unarmed, but yet got shot? For what? Because they were scared of their skin color. Y'all can't feel that shit. So while you're up here talking about immigrants, well, y'all care about their due process and all their rights, and y'all don't give a fuck about these Americans, these black, brown, poor Americans. Y'all don't care about them. Y'all don't, and they say that Republicans don't. But I don't. Mike Lindell and Phil Parrish must be a definitely different type of Republicans then, because they don't have that racist side in them. They see people as people. And I know on Don Allen's show or whatever, he took a little bit of heat because he talking about colorblind. I don't expect him to be able to see the things that I'm telling him or the stories that I've told him. He can't feel that. He maybe can listen, which, to be honest, we all should see people as humans. We should all see people as humans. But if you come into a country, even though we had open borders, you're still doing something illegal. So why are you having due process and rights when we don't even give people who are innocent due process? Y'all say we do. How is the due process that we're convicting people that never committed a crime? Is that really due process? Is that really due process? I can talk about my uncle because he was executed not once, but twice. I'm going to say that again. Not once, but twice. He was executed. And as a teenager, not as an adult, but as a teenager of committing a crime that there's no way impossible he could have committed. Talking about he stole the sheriff's gun. Come on, man. The shit that we believe in America is fucking wild. Like people don't even want to look at the truth. When you just want to run and fuck Joe Chambrino, whatever the fuck his name is. That shit would just be wild to me. And Dewana, I have my own issues with Dewana when she wasn't sheriff. When we were down in Minneapolis taking over Hennepin County government center because we took over an area for about a week in the back. One of the greatest weeks of my life, and some of the biggest opposition I had were people that looked like me, even though I was doing something and standing what I believed in and what others around me believed in. That was standing on business. Didn't matter if it was going to jail. It didn't matter if it was going in the coffin. Because what else can you niggas do to me? That's what I don't get. Throw me in a prison cell already. I've been there, done that. Been homeless. Come on, y'all are just allowing me to get back to where I need to be. And I'm almost there. I'm almost there. It's been a hard ass comeback from the stroke, but I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I got 2 more sessions with my therapist, and I'm hoping everything goes smooth with that. And I do have an appointment in September for some other shit, but yeah, to do with my stroke and brain bleed. But it's like I just want to be out here because I'm tired of the same old motherfuckers doing the same old shit. We do the same old shit, and I'm tired of hearing about independence, nonpartisan. Because who the fuck is nonpartisan? Please show me somebody that's nonpartisan, and I'll show you that they're fucking lying. You show me a person that says they're nonpartisan, and I will tear them apart of why they are not nonpartisan. You show me a person that is independent, and I'm gonna show you that they're fucking not an independent. They have an agenda. Y'all might want to call them nonpartisan and independent groups, but they're left leaning. They're left. They're progressive. They're not conservative. There's nothing conservative about them at all. And I'm talking about conservative values. I'm talking about a nuclear family. They don't promote that. They promote men having babies, and that is something that can't even fucking happen. Or they be promoting, which is crazy because I really do want to talk about this. There was actually, let me get to the story. Because I think a lot of people gonna be like, wait, what? You need to see this. That we actually paid in prison for an inmate to get a sex change. To get a sex change. If y'all ain't mad about that shit, man, y'all really should be mad about this one. Because this shit didn't make no fucking sense to me. Like, wild. That we literally paid for a sex change. Yeah, we can listen to this one. So I'm going to listen to it. Hold on. Mm.
A statement from the Minnesota Department of Corrections, DOC, seems to suggest that taxpayers covered the cost.
Wait, I want to start this over so you guys can hear it. Because there's some wild ass shit. I was like taken back when I heard this, and I was like, even though I knew it was like it was a possibility that there was, well, I mean, we already knew because we knew people that were in prison and there was men in there, in a woman's facility. But to hear that like bottom surgery, like how the fuck is that even like wow? Like that one, and he's been in prison since 1996. Been in prison since 1996. Shit's wild.
Exclusive. Convicted male murderer gets bottom surgery while housed in Minnesota women's prison, sources says. A male inmate has received so-called bottom surgery while serving a life sentence for murder at Minnesota's women's prison in Shakopee, multiple sources told Alpha News. A statement from the Minnesota Department of Corrections, DOC, seems to suggest that taxpayers covered the cost. Bradley Servio is a convicted murderer who beat a man to death with a hammer and set the victim's house on fire. He is one of several male inmates who have been transferred to Minnesota Correctional Facility Shakopee after claiming to be a woman. Since 2023, DOC policy has allowed men who identify as women to be housed at the Shakopee Women's Prison. Alpha News has reported extensively on the issue, speaking with current and former inmates and employees who believe the policy is putting real women in danger. Jamie Ollie, a former Shakopee inmate who has been leading the charge against the DOC's trans policy, said in the Alpha News documentary Minnesota Mao that Governor Tim Walz's administration voluntarily put me in harm's way. I begged. My only options in there was to go into protective custody if I didn't feel safe. Why should I have had to do that? I'm a woman. I was born a woman. DOC, your number one policy and obligation is to keep us safe, Ollie said through tears. And you actually put me in harm's way. If that's not cruel and unusual punishment, I don't know what is, she continued. During a November protest outside the prison, speakers read from letters written by some of the female inmates who explained how the policy has created an unsafe environment and led to more trauma. DOC said in a statement to Alpha News that it cannot confirm, disclose, or discuss the private medical information for any individual in its custody. It is important to understand that the agency is constitutionally and legally obligated to provide health care to people in state custody. Decisions about medical care and treatment are made by qualified healthcare professionals based on established standards and an individual patient's clinical requirements, the agency said. Healthcare provided to those committed to the DOC's custody is funded through the department's appropriated healthcare budget, the statement continued. Because the DOC is constitutionally obligated to provide medically necessary healthcare, and regardless of the diagnosis or treatment needed, associated costs are borne by the department, the agency added.
Crazy that we gave a man who's been in prison since 1996 a sex change. Took off his little wanky and put an innie. That's fucking wild. And we actually, taxpayers paid for that. Wow. He's doing life in prison. Yeah, shit's wild as fuck to me, man. I don't understand how, like, people aren't more upset about it. Or is it just me? I mean, especially in Minneapolis, they should. Actually, it doesn't matter if you're nowhere, what part of Minnesota you're from. You should be mad. You should be outraged that we are over here giving convicts, criminals, sex changes. I thought the whole shit was bad about, Children's Hospital in Minneapolis. But to hear that the DOC is actually out here giving sex changes, that is fucking wild. I didn't even know we were doing that yet in Minnesota. I knew that there was places down in Florida and I know it was Florida and somewhere else that they were doing it. And what trips me out is because Florida is a red state while we're up here talking about walls in our blue state, is that there's a lot of there's some shit that goes on in Florida that people need to know about, that even a Republican state, a red state, is allowing gender affirming care. So I just want to show people that it's not just a blue problem. It's a people problem. It ain't a politic party. Because you know what fucks me up is that a lot of these I don't know, maybe I won't say that, but they're at least sex traffickers when it comes to that Republican Party. And then they throw dirt on the Democrats when they have their own dirt that they don't even want to look at. So like I said, it's Friday. I hope everybody had a good day. I hope everybody has a good weekend. I'll be back Monday, and we'll talk some more about politics. We'll talk some more about the past, and definitely talk about the future, because how do we get there? Do we get there just by chance? Or do we get there by policy? Do we get there by educating people? That's what I want people to think about. Do we educate to get where we're going, or do we just have what we're doing all the way in the past with this DEI? I'll give it to people who didn't earn it. Yeah, DEI didn't earn it. So I'm really big into this song right now, and I really just feel like people need to hear this. I don't even know if he's independent or not anymore. I know he was with MMG. I tried to look and see if he was with a label. I really don't know. So here you are with Wale, Overthink, and I'll be back Monday, same time, same place, and I'll see y'all then.
Oh, the pain that I feel, you're taking my love for granted, and you just want to see it your way. It's about that time. I'm gonna tell you what's on my mind. I'm fed up with you and being with me. When you don't love, it's all I need.
I don't really wanna smoke, but I'm about to overthink. I don't wanna see no ghosts, can we get it good though? I don't really wanna smoke, but I'm about to overthink. I don't feel like me no more, can we get it good though? I don't really wanna smoke, but I'm finna overthink. I don't wanna see no ghosts, can we get it good?
Can we get it? Yeah.
Look, okay, I'm about to leave town, shawty. Just know I was down, shawty. It's not a profound statement that love is for clowns, shawty. I take this L, and time may heal itself. The time we had was good, but I tried, it didn't help. My mind is a circus, and you my kerosene carousel. The city on fire now, but the lighter was in your shell. Feeling lost, take off, I feel nauseous. I should have been cautious, putting you in my songs. But fuck it, somebody healing from the shit I've been living through, though. Don't really live it no more, that shit was running through her. My mission now is this money, cause loyalty's really tough. I'm growing into a trope as I cope, is this really done? I don't really wanna go, but I don't wanna overstay. I don't wanna get in your way, yeah. Look, I don't really got a home, but I know where I'ma stay. I'm on the road till a hotel weekend, yeah.
You don't know the pain that I feel. You're taking my love for granted, and you just want to see it your